You pluck a leaf of lettuce, and life ends. You uproot a carrot, and something once growing now lies still in your hand. If killing means ending life, then yes, even a vegetarian kills. But the deeper question, the one the Buddha invites you to ask, is this: what kind of life are you ending? And what kind of mind are you using to end it? Not all lives feel pain the same way. Not all beings tremble in fear. The Buddha drew a profound line, not between life and death, but between sentience and non-sentience, between beings who feel and those who simply are. In the Samyukta Agama, Sutra 297, the Blessed One taught, to take life is to cause terror in one who clings to existence, who fears pain, who longs to live. But that which has no mind, no fear, no desire, its ending does not stay in the hand. Trees, grasses, vegetables, they live, yes, but they do not resist death because they do not know it is coming. They do not cry out. They do not suffer from the severing of a limb or the pulling of a root. In contrast, animals, beings with breath, with blood, with bonds, suffer in ways you can imagine because you too have felt fear, pain, loss. This is the heart of the teaching. To kill a sentient being is to wound not just the flesh, but the stream of consciousness that clings to it. That wound echoes through samsara. The Mahayana Brahmajāla Sutra says, "A disciple of the Buddha must not intentionally cause the death of any being that has awareness. Whether directly, by command, or by complicity, such killing darkens the mind and defiles the vow of compassion. So when you choose to eat plants instead of animals, you are not choosing perfection. You are choosing less harm. This is the principle of ahimsa, non-violence, which is not about being untouched by life and death, but about walking through them with awakened care. You still end life when you eat, but you end the kind of life that does not suffer in the way that fuels karma. A stone is not wrong for being stepped on. A fruit is not angry when it falls. The Lotus Sutra reminds us, the wise choose with the eyes of compassion, even when no one is watching, even when the choice is quiet and invisible to others. That quiet, invisible moment, your decision at the market, your breath before a meal, that is where the path begins. And yet, there is another layer still. The Buddha taught that karma is not born only from the act, but from the mind behind the act. If you eat meat without killing, but with craving, pride, or indifference, you plant seeds of suffering. If you eat plants, but with mindfulness, gratitude, and humility, your act becomes dana, a sacred offering. The Anguttara Nikaya, Book of the Fours, Sutta 260, records, a deed done with compassion bears fruit in joy. A deed done with greed bears fruit in sorrow. The mind is the field. Intention is the seed. This is why monks in some early traditions still accepted whatever food was placed in their bowls, not to endorse harm, but to surrender personal craving and cultivate detachment. But for lay people, the Mahayana schools urge greater responsibility. When you can choose not to harm, why wouldn't you? The Lankavatara Sutra, chapter 8, declares, the bodhisattva does not eat meat, for meat is born from fear, and fear darkens the mind. To nourish the body with fear is to nourish delusion. Here lies the secret. The real nourishment is not in the food, but in the consciousness that receives it. The question is not whether plants die. They do. The question is whether their death multiplies pain in the world or reduces it, whether your eating increases suffering or becomes a quiet live-in vow not to cause more than you must. And this vow is not rigid. It's not about purity. It's about tenderness. A vegetarian who mocks meat eaters kills something too. They kill connection. A monk who eats meat given with love, but bows with humility, may carry less karma than one who eats tofu with pride. It is not the food. It is the mindful heart. So is being vegetarian also killing? Yes. But it is killing that carries a different weight, because it does not leave behind a scream. And sometimes, the goal is not to stop all death, but to stop the cycle of unnecessary suffering. The Mahayana Sutra says, "The true disciple does not seek a life without death, but a mind without cruelty." That is your task, not to become untouchable, but to become unharming. To walk through this world as though every leaf, every creature, every breath is sacred, and still choose with clarity the path that bleeds less. And so, before your next meal, pause, see the life on your plate, whisper a thank you to the root that gave, to the soil that bore it, and most of all, whisper a vow to never take more than you need. That vow, quiet, unseen, trembling like a flame, may be the beginning of true peace. And if you wish to keep nurturing mindfulness and wisdom, subscribe and join our community to continue exploring profound Dhamma reflections together. The path of practice is long. See you in the next video.